video, I'm going to show you how you can layer the first layer of your painting with your intentions. So in this layer, we want to really just draw upon that beautiful prayer for the universe that we would like to manifest. And you might wish to do this through some meditation, or you might clearly maybe just put some music on, tap into your heart, tap into your body, and just really feel free with the words and the symbols that come out. So just really visioning into what it is that you want to transform and evolve and expand into, and putting that down on the canvas. So this first layer is most likely not going to be seen by underneath your painting unless you intentionally do it so that you can see the layers underneath. So there's different techniques and different ways of doing that. You could, if you wanted to, use your paint and a paintbrush and paint the words on there and symbols and any other meaningful things on there you'd like to put. Or you can use water-based markers like these, for example. These are just Faber-Castell water-based textures. So when we use those water-based textures, what actually happens, I find, is with the acrylic paint, it all mixes in together, which I think is kind of cool and symbolic, isn't it? That we're writing our intentions and then they're mixing with the paint to create this new form, which is pretty exciting. If we were to use a more permanent style marker that is non-water soluble, like an alcohol ink, for example, you might find that you'll be able to see the words underneath your paint, depending on how thick you layer your paint on. But if you dry brush, use a dry brush technique over the top of your painting, you will most likely see the words, the prayers, the symbols underneath, which can create a really cool effect as well. So it just depends on what feels right for you. So today I'm going to just use my water-based markers, and I've got colors that I know will blend quite nicely with the paints that I'm using. So I'm going for blues and greens, because for this painting, my intention is that we layer this with our prayers and our intentions. Then we paint a layer of water, which creates ripple effect. And then on top of that, the final painting is the actual dragonfly itself. Now, of course, this is your painting, so you can do whatever feels right for you. You may want to do it as if the dragonfly is in the night sky, you know, behind beautiful auroras of pinks and purples in the Milky Way. Or you may choose to use a different setting entirely for your dragonfly, something that's meaningful and precious to you. So that's what I really love about intuitive art, is that we can make it completely personalized to us, and it doesn't need to be realistic, and it doesn't need to make logical sense to anybody except for ourselves. We don't need to please anybody else. We don't need to recreate a hyper realistic image of a dragonfly. It's much more freeing and intuitive and symbolic, and whatever lights your heart up. So we get to leave all of those expectations behind us. We get to be in our beautiful feminine energy, our expansive self first, and from there we can use our masculine self to help us create this painting, but we really let the feminine and the intuitive side of us lead this process. So now I'm going to think about the words that I really want to call into my life. And for me, the word of the year for me, I have a couple, but one of them is trust. Trust my transformation. So you can just go ahead and write any words or prayers or song lyrics or affirmations that feel right for you and symbols. So trusting my transformation. Another word for me that I feel quite connected to with the dragonfly is this idea of evolution. So evolve, and of course expand. And you just want to go ahead and fill your whole canvas, and you can write over the top of words or colour over the top of symbols if you want to. It's likely that no one will see this layer, so this is a beautiful way for you to just let go and pour your heart out onto the canvas. What is it you really want? And a little tip is to write your affirmations as if they've already happened. So it might be, I trust my transformation. I enjoy my evolution. I am stepping into this with grace and love. Even if you have some fear or some doubts, or even if you know things are tough and challenging for you right now, what we want to do is really tap into what is the highest potential. What is the most positive outcome that we can imagine for ourselves going through this evolution and this expansive stage? Because our body and our mind and our heart and our soul will vibrate at a higher frequency if we are imagining ourselves in the most positive, joyful, loving potential. So I enjoy my evolution. I surrender. I surrender with grace and ease. You know, evolutions can feel big and scary and challenging because it's a bit unknown, and we have to leave behind our old parts of ourselves that are probably no longer serving us, but they feel familiar and safe. So if you are feeling any of those doubts or fears, that's okay. Acknowledge them, be with them, and then tap into that wisdom part of yourself that says, I know this is going to be okay. I know this is for your higher good. So I trust my transformation, expand, growth, highest potential. Another symbol for me that I like to come back to when I'm thinking about expansion and transformation is the Unalome, which is I believe is a Buddhist symbol, and it starts with a spiral, and then we have, this is not an exact replica, but we have these like intertwining almost infinity loop type situation that goes up from this spiral. So it's acknowledging our expansion of our consciousness as an individual and as hopefully as a collective, and that as we move through challenges, perhaps traumatic experiences, as we move out of our childhood self and our childhood wounds and we become an adult and we get to make different choices for ourselves, we're expanding and going upwards and upwards and ascending. So I think that's a really cool imagery that goes with the dragonfly as well. Another symbol which I love in relation to this theme is the infinity symbol. And what I like to meditate on this idea of the infinity symbol is that as we show up with action and with high vibration, the universe meets us with beautiful opportunities and potential. So we do have to show up and do the work if we want to, manifest change and invite potential for our higher self into our world. So I like to think of this as a relationship between our intention and our prayers and our actions and, a higher love, higher purpose, feeling connected, feeling our place of belonging, which is of course not dependent on what we do or don't do, but the more we step into our highest potential, the more we experience a sense of purpose. And when we are living on purpose, we're encouraging and inspiring others to live on their purpose too. And we're creating more love in the world. And something that I also like to muse on and is a concept that's practiced in yoga, in Buddhist meditation, and I'm sure in many other ways around the world through different spiritual traditions, is this concept of, may the work that I do, the devotion that I have, the prayer, the meditation, may it benefit all sentient beings. So as we raise our vibration, may it raise the entire vibration of the planet, and may we share love, may we know love, may we raise love. So I'm going to do some more beautiful spirals and ripples, which are one of my favorite symbols. Whenever I'm doodling, and I've done this for a very long time, if I'm sitting on a call or if I was in a meeting when I was working in my old career, I would constantly be doing this. There are ripples and spirals over all of my old meeting notes. Which is not by accident. Our psyche, our soul is drawn to things that resonate with us, that have personal meaning to us. So if a symbol comes up for you, embrace it. So may my creations, may the way I serve in the world, serve my loved ones, serve my clients in my business, serve my community, create beautiful ripples of love, of hope, of inspiration, of belonging. May all sentient beings benefit from my practice and your practice. And so as you can see here, you can just go crazy. Cover your canvas however it feels right. Take as long as you like, and just really be in that moment of allowing whatever comes to your heart to be put down on the canvas. So I'm going to show you a better view. So I have my dragonfly, I have my words of affirmations, I have my symbols on there in those layers. And that is the first layer of our Dragonfly Sacred Symbol Painting Practice. Welcome back to the second layer of our intuitive painting of our sacred symbol of the dragonfly. So this is where we get to break out the paints, or if there's any other mediums you'd like to use, but I'm using acrylic paint as described in the supplies list. So what I've got here is a selection of colours. I have some Payne's Grey, which is like a dark blue black. I don't know if you're able to see it. It probably looks more black than blue, but in real life it's got a blue undertone to it. Then I have this beautiful, there's a I had to pop that bubble. There's a beautiful aqua turquoisey color, cool blue, cerulean blue. I have a cool yellow, I have violet, and I have dioxazine purple, which is like a deep dark purple, and I have white as well. So these are the colors that I'm going to work with in this layer, and of course I have my paintbrushes. So this is just an opportunity for you to again tap into your intuition and paint what feels right. I am going to be painting ripples to symbolize that intention that I want my evolution to create a ripple effect in my own life of positivity and love and joy and hope, and reaching my highest potential in the next version of myself, and also creating that beautiful ripple effect, like I said, with my loved ones, with my family, my friends, my clients that I serve, and my greater community, and indeed the world. So taking a paintbrush and starting wherever you want to start. You don't have to start in the middle. That's where I'm going to start. You might like to do some ripples that meet each other, a little bit like when I did the spirals in here. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do it slightly off center, and then we'll add some other ripples in, just to change it up a little bit. Or you might choose to do the ripple in the start, and this is really where you get to choose exactly what you want to do, and this is our opportunity to play and have fun with this. So there are no rules at all, and it's beautiful if you can just get quiet and listen to your intuition. Listen to where you are being called and how you're being called to use the paint, because this is where we can have that conversation with our soul, and we can find things in our painting that want to be expressed to us. So this is where we can listen. That's the meditative part of this, is the listening to the universe and how it comes through on the canvas with us. All right, I think I'm going to start with the blue. Now, excuse me, I am using a dry brush technique, so that means I have not wet my paintbrush very much at all, and I'm applying the paint straight onto the paintbrush without mixing it with lots of water, so it really is that kind of thick texture. And as I put it onto the canvas, it's quite dry, so you'll see what I mean. Let's start my first ripple here. And I'm literally painting circles. So because I'm not using a lot of water, you can see at this stage it's not really blending. It's blending a little bit with the underlayer, but not a lot. So this is a good technique if you want to see the layers underneath your painting. The more water you add, the more it will activate the ink in the water markers, and the more it will actually blend, and the less you'll be able to see underneath. And when you come to add other colors, if it's really watery, you will actually lose all of the underlayer. It will get mixed in, which is cool too, right? There's infinite possibilities. Let's It's just whatever makes your heart happy, whatever brings you joy. Now I'm really enjoying that my painting has, you know, these areas of the brush strokes where it's quite light and then dark. So I'm purposely not going back over those lines. I'm just keeping it like this for now because that's kind of making me happy. I'm enjoying that sense of it being not a solid line, you know, that there's some movement there and there's some breaks. And so if you want to do multiple ripples, I guess you would at some point decide, okay, this is as big as my main ripple is going to be. Maybe I'll add one more layer. And then you might come in with a different colour, a little spiral in the middle. Another little ripple here. And I love that these two are, you know, meeting each other. Just like raindrops, you know, when raindrops fall on water and you get those beautiful ripples that meet and touch each other. And may this be like beautiful positive energy, loving vibrations being put out into the world, being experienced by us first, our connection, and then rippling out and bumping into other people's field of energy as well. It's really So I'm just simply, you know, creating a circle or a spiral in the middle and working my way out. And this does not have to be symmetrical. It does not have to be perfect. In fact, it's better if it's not, because we're really wanting to allow ourselves the freedom to be free from perfectionism, to be free from the things, the self-talk that says it's not good enough, it should look a certain way for it to be acceptable or worthy, because no one is perfect and nor should we be. And as a recovering perfectionist, I can definitely tell you that I'm a lot happier being my beautiful, imperfect human self and embracing that than expending a lot of energy trying to be perfect. And that's part of my evolution. Okay, so once you've done that, you know, you can come in and fill other colours And here I'm doing the same blue, so I'll just do a few more little lines in between. So just then I thought I was recording and I wasn't, of course. So what I was musing on was how do we imagine all the positive impacts of our transformation, and how will that benefit not only us but people in our life. And one of the benefits might be that the more we step into self-love, self-kindness, maybe that's something that you want to evolve into, is to be kinder to yourself and have more compassion and love yourself, is that not only will that benefit your mental health and your spiritual health and your well-being, but that you will also role model that to others and show others how to embrace themselves positively and how to be kind to themselves. And I believe that when the kinder we are to ourselves and the more compassionate we are with ourselves, there's more potential there for us to be kind and compassionate to others. The less we judge ourselves, the less we judge others. The more compassion we bring into ourself, into our world, into our heart, the more compassion we can have for others, especially when we don't understand someone else's situation, or perhaps if we've been hurt by others. The more we can forgive and embrace and be compassionate and kind to ourselves, the easier it is to extend that to others. Another aspect of this beautiful ripple effect might be that the more we step into our highest potential, what we wish to grow into, is that we, without really perhaps even knowing this, but the more we step into our own potential, the more we give permission to others to step into their full potential. And we get to be a role model in our community and in our families. And you often don't even realize the impact of your choices, the way you show up in the world, the way you're kind to yourself and to others, the way that you love or show love, really impacts people in ways you maybe don't even know or are aware of consciously. Which is beautiful. But what if we were to invite that curiosity and that wonder into this layer of our painting? I wonder how my evolution may be of positive benefit and impact to others. Maybe you'll become more of the highest potential within you as a leader, as a role model. Maybe you'll tap into your greatest wisdom, and that wisdom might help you support others as they come and seek you as someone who is knowledgeable and someone who has wisdom and experience and beautiful things to offer. So I have really stuck with these two colours. I think I might introduce a little bit more of the blue, but I'm enjoying my ripples. I'm certainly enjoying the colours and the shapes and the forms. And you can also kind of mix your paint together, obviously to create colours, but you can also put two colours on your paintbrush at the same time, which can create some cool effects too. Just be free and have fun with this layer. Now, I was painting last night in this kind of method, and what I decided to do was switch from dry brushing to adding a whole lot of water, which then mixed the colours together, which looked pretty cool too. So I have a feeling, my intuition is telling me that we might play around with that as well, because it was really cool. Now that's the dark cyan purple, which probably looks almost black at the moment. If I hold it up to the screen, you can see the purple undertones in there. And I really like it because it brings some contrast, because we've got all these blues and greens which are delicious and beautiful and awesome, but we need contrast in our life so that we can see the bright. You know, we often can appreciate the good things in our life more, or in other ways, but probably more deeply and profoundly when we've experienced loss and heartache and fear and worry and doubt. So contrast is not always to be feared. And often it's our contrast which pushes us to create something new in our life. We're not happy with something. Maybe we are uncontent in our work situation, so we decide to seek a new job or a new career path. Or we might choose to show up differently in our relationships because the way we have been showing up isn't serving us well. So we need contrast. And that's part of the evolution, is that we need to let go of perhaps some of the learned behaviours, learned from childhood, or the stories, or the energetic patterns that we're stuck in. Need to let go of those to create something new, something that serves us in a better way, something that creates connection, purpose, meaning, belonging. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little peek at this now. is my first layer. I might have a little bit more of a tinker and a play, but I will see you back over in the final layer painting video where we will paint our dragonfly. So I look forward to seeing you over there, and I hope this experience is really opening you up to new ideas and new feelings and embracing your evolution and the beautiful ripple effect that can have in your life and for others. Okay, so still on the second layer now, I actually decided I wanted to add the water because it's creating this really cool effect by reanimating the acrylic that I put on, and it's kind of helping it blend a little bit. But as you can see, I've put some water on my canvas, and you can see it's kind of really creating a very cool wet looking effect, and it's filling in the gaps a little bit. It's almost like using watercolor. So I was just going to show you what that is. So I'm just using a stencil brush because why not? And can put some water on it, just drop some on my canvas, and then I'm just following the ripples. Now with the purple, obviously it is going to blend into your greens and create more of a kind of a purpley undertone. So I was kind of going over the blues and the greens and then coming in and going over the purples as the final kind of stage in here where I could, just to kind of keep it looking a little bit cleaner rather than going all muddy. But no, there are no mistakes in intuitive art. We can, if we don't like something, we can paint back over it. Nothing is permanent, just like in life, nothing is permanent. So really, if you do something and you don't like it, it just gives you an opportunity to try something different. Try a different way of doing things. Learn from it, practice, you know, have a go, try something new, problem solve. It's all good. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about how that's looking, and I might need to go and dry my wet canvas off with a hairdryer, which is another cool tip, instead of having to wait for it to dry, or put it out in the sunshine if it's a nice sunny day. But I think I might cheat and use the hairdryer today. So I will see you over in the third video for this series. Welcome to the third layer painting instructional video for the sacred dragonfly symbol. So now we get to paint our dragonfly on top of our ripples of our water. So I have added a few more paints to my palette. I have violet, processed magenta, which is one of my favorite colors, and cool red. I'm also going to use some charcoal to draw out my dragonfly shape. I like to use charcoal because I find I can make a shape, and if I don't like it, I can rub it out fairly quickly. You can also use artist chalk as well. This is what I had on hand, so this is what I'm going to use. So of course you can create any kind of dragonfly shape that you like. You could make it realistic, you could make it symbolic, you could make it abstract. Excuse me, the possibilities are endless. You could do the wings with the infinity symbol, which we can still see some of my original dragonfly under here. And I would like to place the dragonfly kind of over the top of the ripple so that it looks as if he's or she has touched the water, created this ripple, and about to take off again. So I'm going to position my dragonfly about here. That's his body. We'll just draw the segments of his body. Like that, I think. Might change that a little bit. This is just, like I said, this is kind of rudimentary at this stage, so we can always change whatever we want, and that is the beauty of intuitive painting, is that, you know, there's no hard and fast rules, and we can change things if we don't like them. So, you know, often when we think of art in this world that we live in, it's about creating art that's apparently, you know, economically valuable, and that is the only way we should be creating art, and they are the, you know, professional artists are the only people who are allowed to create art because what they create is economically viable. And of course, this is nothing against paid artists, but we're human beings, we're innately creative, so we want to create, and it is not about economic value only. It is about creating because it makes our heart feel good, because it makes us feel alive. That's what's important. So we need to just get out of our headspace of perfectionism, comparison, feeling like our artwork isn't worthy because it doesn't look like something you could sell. We are doing this for ourselves, to express ourselves, to have a conversation with the universe, to connect with the energy of our sacred symbols, of course, our dragonfly. So we're just here to have fun. So try to let go of any of those thoughts if they're popping up into your brain. So I'm going to hold this up so you can see the outline of my dragonfly and the wings. So now we're just going to go ahead and have some fun, paint our dragonfly. I'm going to take off a little bit of the excess of just using a tissue with some water on it, a little bit, just to help me pick up that bit of charcoal that I don't want. Often you can just rub charcoal, but it will leave a little bit of a grayness there, which is fine if you're okay with that. Or you can just kind of dab it and use a little bit of paper as well, or tissue paper or paper towel. Excellent. So now we're just going to have some fun with painting. Like I said, I wanted to choose some different colors, pinks, purples. I might mix up an orangey yellow, and just going to have some fun with it. I'm feeling beautiful, bold yellow for his eyes. So in the first video, I talked a little bit about the dragonfly symbology and why we may choose to connect to that energy. And as we're painting this dragonfly, it's a beautiful opportunity for you to meditate on and to muse on. Mix up some orange, I think. To meditate and muse upon your transformation, on what you wish to call into the world. You know, what is calling you to transform? How would you like to be transformed? What would a transformation for you look like? What needs changing for you to transform? When you reflect on your highest potential and the next version of you, stepping into that highest potential. Where do you see opportunities for growth? And what and who can help you get there? What kind of support do you need? And that support can come in many different forms. Support can come in the way of connecting to however you perceive the higher source of love, the universe, energies, spirit guides, ancestors, spirit animals. However the universe gives you little synchronicities. It can come in the form of actual physical entities like your friends, your family, colleagues, community. Support might also be thinking about resources. What kind of resources might you need to help you step into this next version of yourself? So perhaps working on financial resources. Maybe you need to up-level your abundance mindset. Maybe you need to open yourself up to receiving more from the universe, or being grateful for the abundance that you have already in your life. Maybe your transformation is also going to help you appreciate your inner resources. Which inner resources do you have? That you feel could help support your transformation? Is there some more positive and helpful ways of being in your life and showing up that would support a transformation? So for example, gratitude, focusing on what you have already, focusing on what's working well in your life. Gratitude is such an important practice for all of us, because gratitude puts us in the highest vibration, which makes us more connected to our joy. It calms our nervous system down, puts us out of fight and flight and back into rest and digest. And from there, our body can heal and restore itself. We can achieve greater states of awareness. We can listen to the universe, we can meditate better, we can receive messages. So what are the inner resources you have that can support your transformation? Just something to muse on while you're painting. I'm just kind of dry brushing this yellow on top of this red, which is mixing the colour for me. Adding a little bit of accents of lighter colour to try to add a little bit of dimension to my painting. So thinking about your inner resources, you know, what are the things in your life that have taught you resilience? What are the things in your life that have highlighted to you your strength, your tenacity, your ability to keep going in the face of difficulty and challenge, tragedy, trauma, hurt? That resilience to get up and keep going despite your experiences, despite the pain and the trauma. When are the times that you've risen above? You know, that's what the dragonfly teaches us to do. The dragonfly teaches us to rise up out of the muck and to transform ourselves into a being that can soar, soar high in the sky, can be agile, can change directions and pivot quickly, is able to be deft and adaptability and have great adaptability. And we can't gain those skills without having faced some challenges in our life. So this is where the challenges in our life have taught us these skills that we need. So just like the dragonfly has been sitting in a period of uncertainty, not knowing that one day he or she is going to rise up out of that muck and become this glorious creature that will be able to twist and turn and spin and soar and glide above. So thinking about your transformation, imagining yourself, what are you doing in this new version of yourself? What lights you up? What do you love? How are you spending your time? How is that nourishing you? How are you shining your unique gifts out into the world? How is your evolution serving a higher purpose? How are you helping others just by simply being who you are? So I want you to kind of imagine that you're in this evolved state of who you are becoming, which is who you are, because who you are becoming is who you are now, as well as who you were before. They're all the same thing. They're just different trajectories along the time spectrum. So there's a part of you now who is who you are in the future. And you're just getting this beautiful opportunity to evolve into that. So think about who you are in the future, who you are becoming. What do you look like? What do you feel like? What does your day look like? How do you fill your time? What kind of moments of joy and connection are available to you? And how does that happen? What are you doing that makes you feel fulfilled? Who are you with? What is the environment around you like? What are you wearing? All of these beautiful things we can imagine into and talk to our soul about. And from there, we can use that vision to start creating the next evolution of who we are. So as you paint, thinking about these questions, musing on them, really tapping into the feelings, into your imagination now, of you at the point where you want to be. Where in your life would you feel like you're soaring and thriving and living a beautiful life? How does that feel? Who is with you? Who is supporting you? And using this magical sacred symbol of the dragonfly to imagine your evolution, to imagine your heart and your mind expanding, to imagine these changes taking place. So as we're painting and considering our beautiful evolution, and as we're feeling grateful for all that we have now and all that we are creating, we are manifesting that. We are putting our prayers out into the universe, and we're listening to what the universe has to say in response. You might want to ask questions out to the universe. Well, what does that look like? How do I need to get there? Who can help me? What do I need? Because everything you have is already within you and already available to you. Just often need to take the time to listen, to ask, and to co-create together. So that's the kind of outline of my dragonfly. Just going to touch up the wings with a little bit of this light pink, just so that I can really see them, so I can show you, because I know that unfortunately the video is not in the best focus. But really, this is for you to paint your dragonfly. And your dragonfly will be unique and beautiful, just like you are. So what I'm going to do is hold up the dragonfly so that you can see it, and then I'm going to continue working on it off screen and show you the finished product at the end. But this is a beautiful time now for you to just go for it. So here is the beginning layer of my dragonfly. I've just totally free-handed it, created the shape, the body, the head, the segments, and just going for whatever color feels right. I will probably paint a couple of layers over this, but this is just the beginning for me, and I actually I'm really happy with the shape that I've made so far. So I'm going to work on it. I will show you the finished product in the last video, but I hope that you have enjoyed painting the dragonfly and that you take this precious time just to be with yourself and your thoughts and your heart and your soul, and just allow yourself the freedom to create, allow yourself the opportunity to ask yourself the questions about your transformation, to listen to your soul, and to have fun painting the dragonfly. So thank you for watching. I'll do a little conclusion video as well and show you the final piece in a little while, but hope you've enjoyed this one so far. Okay, so I've done a little bit more work on my dragonflies, still a bit more work to go, but happy with how they are coming along. And I just wanted to show you what I've done with the wings here. So I painted the outline of the wings with purple and Payne's grey, and then I've come in with my gold paint pen and I've drawn the outline of the gold over the top of each segment of the wing, and then around that I've gone back over with the black just to sharpen it up like that. And in there you'll see I've written the word evolve, and over here I've written the word transform. So you can pick a little segment in your wings, take your paint pen, write the word, and then come back over with black and outline it so that you can see those beautiful little words in the wings. So I just want to show you how that little technique that I did, in case it's something you might want to enjoy doing in your dragonfly as well. Welcome back. This is the final video just to wrap up our sacred painting practice of the dragonfly. So here I have my finished dragonfly. So I'll bring it a little bit closer so you can see. I used gold paint in the body as well as on the wings, and then I added some little bits of gold in the ripples as well, just to add to the composition, to add a bit of interest to those ripples, and also symbolically to show that, you know, we have that beautiful ripple effect, that we can spread joy and love and happiness and hope through the fulfillment of our own transformation and reaching our higher potential. So this is the finished dragonfly. I've written the words evolve and transform in the wings. I went for a rather simplistic wings for this design, which is a little bit different to my other design, which you would have seen in the other videos. So you can go as complex as you like, or as simple as you like. Either way, it'll be just a beautiful representation of you growing your wings and soaring high. This is my 2023 dragonfly, who is my symbol of this year, and also which is what inspired this painting series. And if you look closely, you'll be able to see the words trust in the unfolding. And I went with a lot more detail in these wings, and this has got silver instead of gold. So, and underneath here is a whole lot of other layers, which is what you can see shining through here, some mandalas and lots of other words and inspiration around transformation. So they're similar paintings, but they're quite different as well. So you can have lots of fun with this. Put that back. There we go. So I hope you've enjoyed this sacred painting practice. I would love if you could share with me what this has meant to you, how you enjoyed it, what were your challenges, what were your aha moments, how did you feel inspired by painting the dragonfly? Did you have a conversation with your soul around what is your highest potential and what is calling you to evolve and expand and transform into? So I really hope you've enjoyed this, and I've had so much fun teaching this video, and I hope you can follow along with more sacred painting practices and intuitive painting practices with me in the future. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Kylie Blachetta, and I hope to see you soon at the campus.